So before I begin, I would just like to acknowledge that I'm merely the presenting author of this work and that there are numerous other co-authors who worked on this project, including Eureka, who is in the room and chairing this session today. I should also acknowledge our funders, the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada, who funded and made this work possible. And I'm very grateful, and we all are very grateful, to the TIL learners, and I'll tell you what TIL means just now. But that includes the mentors, the students and practitioners, as well as host biosphere reserves, including their communities, for their participation and sharing of their perspectives, their knowledge and their experiences, which also made this work possible. So, advancing sustainability education. Complex problems of sustainability require researchers to work in interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary settings, and to co-produce knowledge that is both actionable and connected to those who will use it at the end of the day. And educators emphasize the need for learners to build key competencies in sustainability. These include technical competencies, which is all about gathering and analyzing data, relational competencies, which speaks to communication, collaborating, and learning with diverse groups, and also transformational competencies, which speaks to reflecting deeply on underlying motivations and values, and to enact change. And for transdisciplinary processes that enable co-learning and knowledge production amongst diversity of actors for creating, implementing, and adapting strategies for solving sustainability challenges. So there are the current approaches, or transdisciplinary learning approaches, include things like problem and project-based learning formats and real-world labs, which are typically delivered by university educators in partnership with civil society to instill key competencies for sustainability change makers. And this is where learners will build expertise in sustainability, develop the competencies required to engage in transdisciplinary research projects, and also to prepare to produce action-orientated sustainability knowledge. So today I'm going to introduce you to the TransX network and an emerging and evolving model of learning labs that emphasize building that intercultural and other relational competencies which are necessary for transdisciplinary sustainability research. So the TransX network is a north-south intercultural partnership with hub universities in Canada, Germany, and South Africa, and involves partners across diverse communities and organizations. There are 42 scholars and practitioners, as well as 24 partner organizations in this network. The goal of the network is to empower scholars, professionals, and practitioners to become sustainability change makers through innovative and flexible intercultural educational pathways. One such pathway are transdisciplinary international learning laboratories. And they're designed to generate action-orientated sustainability solutions that meet the community needs while building the competencies for emerging and long-standing scholars and practitioners to engage in transdisciplinary research projects. These TILs bring together a diverse group of students to live, work, and reflect together in challenging and often unfamiliar contexts. They are hosted in UNESCO biosphere reserves or regions, depending on where you are in the world. And these are intrinsically living labs for biodiversity conservation and sustainable development. The TILs mirror other transdisciplinary learning approaches, and essentially they emphasize the relational competencies in an intercultural setting. So far, there have been 3 TILs. The first was a pilot TIL in Germany in 2022. The first full TIL was also held in Germany in 2023. And a third TIL at the Mount Arrowsmith Biosphere region in Canada this year. And I'm really super excited, I skipped a slide, super excited to announce that the next TIL is taking place in the Garden Route Biosphere Reserve, and the focus will be on marine and coastal sustainability challenges. We are working with several landscape partners, which include sandparks, on adaptive governance indicators in the Neisner Estuary, Cape Nature in terms of their challenges around tourism capacity in the Robberg Nature Reserve, and the Nature's Valley Trust on their Covey and Curlin community and the Titsikama marine protected areas work, which you've heard a little bit about today and yesterday. So in designing, evaluating, and revising of TILs, there are several subgroups and interactions between these subgroups that makes it all happen. There's the MELT team, which is all about monitoring, evaluation, and learning. There's the PSC team, the Program Steering Committee, the Strategic Mobilization Advisory Roundtable, and the newly formed Student and Trainee Advisory Roundtable. And apart from the country-specific teams, these groups have representatives from all 3 countries. So we draw lessons on, or preliminary lessons, sorry, Eureka. We draw on preliminary experiences in co-creating and delivering these TILs to demonstrate how working across a discipline, diverse, and intercultural network to design TILs actually deepens our learning, enriches our pedagogical design, and can inform other learning lab models that seek to provide transformative sustainability education. The lessons we're going to speak about today, or I'm going to speak about, is how we need to manage expectations, how these learning labs require intensive and extensive collaboration, and the intercultural emphasis, how it strengthens relational competencies and deepens our cultural awareness. And also, very importantly, the importance of reflexivity and self-care, and also how we are all learners in this network. I'm also going to skip over the methodology, but I thought just to provide you with some insight, we drew on the framework of Barth and colleagues to demonstrate how the intercultural network deepens our learning for transformational change. Their framework builds on organizational theory to describe how transdisciplinary learning contributes to transformative change. It also stresses the importance of acknowledging who is actually learning and describes depth of learning as single, double, triple loop learning. I'm not going to go into detail with this. If you will be able to access the presentation at a later stage, so you can certainly have a good look at this. So our first lesson is all around managing student expectations. We realized we need to better manage our student expectations surrounding transdisciplinary research and their contributions to a transdisciplinary project. Students often arrive at the TIL expecting that they're going to be involved in the preliminary outreach and the crafting of research questions. And often this is not very feasible because this relies very much on mature relationships with communities and partners. We also learned that we need to be mindful of the costs such as time and capacity of practitioners and community members throughout the TIL. They are not always as accessible as the students would expect them to be, and that is the reality. There's 2 lovely quotes up there that came from TIL mentors that allude to this lesson. Lesson 2 is that these learning labs require both intensive and extensive collaboration. The time that is required by numerous members across the network to design and facilitate these TILs, for example, the number of working groups and members in the network that are involved in the designing, planning, implementation, the foundational course webinars, and facilitating the on-site component, as well as the evaluation and the revision of TILs. And also the lead-up time required for planning, logistics, the travel arrangements, documentations, visa applications, accommodation, meals, partnering with host biosphere reserves, co-designing of research themes and questions. There is so much that goes into providing an offering of this nature. So because of this, we are building our technical capacities for managing the Transsex program by introducing new working groups and intensifying collaboration within the existing governance structure. For example, the newly formed START group. But importantly, and I want to emphasize this level of collaboration is only made possible by the diversity and the reach of the Transsex network in general. Lesson 3 is around the intercultural emphasis, which strengthens the relational competencies and deepens our cultural awareness. The intercultural emphasis strengthens relational competencies through collaboration and co-learning and deepens the cultural awareness, which is reshaping the way we design TILs and work together. And it's not just about bringing people together, but it's about honing and practicing the relational competencies to understand our assumptions, the norms, our cultural biases, and to work together more effectively. So for example, when we bring these students together to live together, often the household tasks, who's going to do the dishes, becomes a bone of contention, or areas of stress. Things like diet, some are vegan and some are vegetarian and some are meat eaters, and this becomes a bone of contention too. And so because of this, we have also introduced a dedicated session in the foundational course before they even arrive on site, which is dedicated to deepening their cultural awareness and encouraging students to communicate and set expectations for working and living together so that they start thinking about it before they even arrive. And we have learned the importance of building time for both students and the mentors to network and develop relationships with each other early in the TIL program. Lesson 4, the importance of reflexivity and self-care. We've learned that creating spaces for reflexivity produces feedbacks that can be used to deepen the learning and improve practice, encourages students to understand their positionality and how positionality, power, and privilege influence their perspectives, learning, and collaboration. So for example, in the TILs, there are organized facilitated reflective sessions, and these are opportunities to learn from and also about each other. We also have facilitated structured reflections and evaluations amongst the TIL mentors and the biosphere practitioners after the TIL has taken place, and this deepens our understanding of what intercultural learning labs mean for sustainability education and research practice. Furthermore, there is structured data collection of all these reflection sessions, and these are shared, and these insights are shared at an annual program institute, and the network is learning from participants and their experiences in the TIL. What we are learning through deeper relationships is shaping our concern for doing different things to deepen the impact for all learners. Our last lesson is that we are all learners in this network. Throughout the process of designing, delivering, and evaluating and revising TILs, as well as through the process of participating in the TILs, the network is learning from and about each other, learning about transdisciplinarity and sustainability research, and also transdisciplinary learning, sustainability and practice across the world, cultures, norms, expectations, perspectives, and lifestyles. And the inclusive definition of learners and the engagement of practitioners flattens this hierarchy of learning and knowledge holders. And I absolutely love this quote from a TIL mentor where they say, "We are placed in a context and a situation that is arguably as new to us as it is to the TIL students. That can further strip away the veil of expertise and create a dynamic where we are all learning together." And that's what we like to achieve. So going back to that model, which I didn't really spend much time on, single and double loop learning is definitely apparent, and triple loop learning is emergent through the building of our relationships and our capacity for critical reflection and enhanced relationships. So for example, double loop learning is evident in the new buddy program that's been developed to connect new alumni to new students, the introduction of a peer mentor to increase opportunities for reflexivity and self-care. And we continually reflect on practices and procedures and share lessons learned across the network. We add to self-reflections on learning in transdisciplinary sustainability education, which helps us work towards deeper triple loop or transformative learning and change. We see in designing and participating in TILs, we see 3 key areas where triple loop learning and transformative potential actually exists. And that's in deepening relational competencies through intercultural collaboration, increased emphasis on reflexivity and self-care, and the operization of the statement, "We are all learners." So in conclusion, designing transformational pedagogies across an intercultural network that spans the global north and south strengthens the learning and competencies of all participants to work together for a sustainable future. It reinforces the intention that TILs are a forum, not just to learn about sustainability and transformative sustainability education, but also to support learning about how to work together to address sustainability challenges. So thank you very much.